Simon & Schuster Audio presents Cloud Cuckoo Land, a novel by Anthony Doerr, read by Marin Ireland and Simon Jones.
Hello people, this is Sonali, the Melodramatic Bookworm. If you've been here before, welcome back, and if you're new to my channel, welcome to the Melodramatic Bookworm family. Also welcome to a brand new reading vlog in which I listen to the brand new book by the author of All the Light We Cannot See, Anthony Doerr, and the book is Cloud Cuckoo Land. And I've seen people go nuts about this book on social media or everywhere, and I am like, I really want in on this action. I want to read this book, and I went looking for it and I found it on Storytel. So I was like, fine, I'm going to listen to this book and I am going to give Anthony Doerr another chance. And I have a good feeling about this, especially since it's an audiobook format. I have a feeling that this is going to go better than his previous book that I read and was not a huge fan of. But this one, that fabulous cover, that fabulous title, that very intriguing title also, I feel like this is going to be good. So let me read out what Cloud Cuckoo Land is actually about. I'll read out the blurb for you so that you will know what it is. And in the meanwhile, I will relearn what it is about because I don't remember things. No, fish memory. Okay, so when everything is lost, it's our stories that survive. Truth bomb in the very first sentence. How do we weather the end of things? Cloud Cuckoo Land brings together an unforgettable cast of dreamers and outsiders from past, present and future to offer a vision of survival against all odds. Constantinople 1453. An orphan seamstress and a cursed boy with a love for animals risk everything on opposite sides of a city wall to protect the people they love. Idaho 2020. An impoverished, idealistic kid seeks revenge on a world that's crumbling around him. Can he go through with it when a gentle old man stands between him and his plans? Unknown, sometime in the future. With a tiny community in peril, Constance is the last hope for the human race. To find a way forward, she must look to the oldest stories for guidance. Oldest stories of fall for guidance. Bound together by a single ancient text, these tales interweave to form a tapestry of solace and resilience and a celebration of storytelling itself. Like its predecessor, All the Light We Cannot See, Anthony Doerr's new novel is a tale of hope and of profound human connection. Okay, I want to clock this book into like historical fiction, contemporary and futuristic fiction. And it has all three elements. Like, what is a girl to do? A girl is supposed to listen to this book. Okay, so yeah, today is the 11th of October and I really want to get into this book as soon as possible. So what I am doing is I'm going to use Storytel's feature, which is a listening goal. I'm going to go to listening goal, create new goal. I'm going to put up a short-term goal. I mean the shortest goal there is, which is 30 days, just for demonstration's sake. And if I'm reading books like this, if I'm listening to audiobooks like this, then that would mean I can listen to 6 stories before the end of 30 days. But if I'm also listening to short stories and all of that, that means I can listen to more. So what I will do is I'm going to put up the number of stories that I listen to as 15. I'm going to put up my goal as 15. And now I'm going to create a goal. Now I have set a new goal. And my goal is to finish 15 stories in 30 days. And I am super excited to get started on this because this is such a nice way of pushing oneself or to encouraging oneself to read more. And when it comes to listening to audiobooks, then I think that's even better because you can do audiobooks anywhere. I think I've spoken about this way too much also, but yes, this is where we are at the moment and I am going to go and listen to Cloud Cuckoo Land for a while. And yeah, I'll be taking you through my experience of delving into this new story by Anthony Doerr. A quick reminder, Storytel India is an audiobook app on which you can listen to lakhs of audiobooks in multiple languages, and the subscription fee for this is only rupees 299 per month, during which you can listen to any number of audiobooks that you like, and the variety is top notch as well. The variety in languages, the variety in genres, and so much more. So if you'd like to experience this whole world, then the link to buying the subscription will be in the description box below. Go check it out. It's going to be absolutely worth it, I promise you. Hey people, I'm about 20% into this story and so much has happened. If you've listened to the description of the blurb for this book, then you'll see that there are 3 time settings, and in the first 20 minutes, you get a peek into all of them. First up, we are introduced to Constance, who is doing her research. She is so immersed in her research that she is like, I don't want food. I'm not hungry. And then we go to Idaho 2020, in which there's a rehearsal that's going on in a library. And then outside, someone is planning something bad. And this kid who is planning an explosion at the library is sort of trying to keep himself together, looking at the world from his perspective. It does feel like something has happened in his past that is making him want to do all of this. And then we go back to the 15th century where there's a 7-year-old girl who is training as a seamstress. We are introduced to her and the setting over there, and I could see those streets and those times flashing before my eyes, because if there's one thing Anthony Doerr does right, it's get the historical facts and figures correctly. And I mean correctly as in it feels right, because I wasn't there, so I don't know exactly how it was, but the whole air of this setting of Constantinople in mid 15th century, it sort of feels right to me. So now we have to see that there's this one thing connecting everything, and now we have to see if how it's going to come together. And that's the whole premise. I'm so invested in this that I went from listening to it at one speed to double speed in less than 15 minutes. And I'm like, come on, tell me. It's good so far. Let's see. I'm keeping my fingers crossed, and I will keep you updated about this. I have about 7 hours to go, because I'm listening to it at double speed, right? I have 7 hours, 6 minutes to go. We got this. We can do this. Yes. Hey there, it's I've stopped at 55 minutes at 1.75 speed, and I have about 7.5 hours to go. And the story is at a very interesting point right now, and I love the narration. Usually with a story such as this, it's very confusing when you go back and forth between 3 timelines. But what this narration does right is First off is the Greek pronunciations. Like, I don't know much of Greek, but this narrator, who is Marin Ireland, and the male narrator is Simon Jones. There are two narrators. She does a great pronunciation. Like, she does a great job at the narration and pronunciation. Like, I'm really loving it to see how alpha, beta, gamma, omega, all of these are pronounced, because we pronounce it with the hard G. So, but apparently it's not that way. And there's a lot of such tiny tidbits that you also find in this, and that is why I feel like narration is really important in an audiobook. You get to learn so many things. You get to learn the right pronunciations, you learn more words. If you're listening to a word over and over again, that translates into drilling that word into your memory. And I love that. Like, I love the job that Marin Ireland is doing in this. And yeah, that's where I'm at right now, and I'm going to stop for the evening or the night. Like, it's 2 in the night. Okay, I don't have any further opinions about this book right now, about this audiobook right now, apart from the fact that the narration is really good. But I must say that there's a point in this book where it really reminded me of Christopher Paolini's To Sleep in a Sea of Stars. I have no idea why. Maybe I'll know in the future. Maybe I'll know once I read more, once I listen to more of this book. But right now, that is the vibe that I'm getting. I mean, at least part of it. But yeah, that's what, every time one of these parts starts, I am instantly transported to that place. Be it 15th century Constantinople, or like present day Idaho in America, or in the future in an unknown place. We don't know where it is set, where it's going right now. Okay, I think I'd better go and listen to the audiobook again. Okay, hi! I have gotten further into the story of Cloud Cuckoo Land, obviously, and I am really confused right now. Yes, there is a connection that's slowly building up between a person who probably existed way back when. It's like now become a part of a myth and all of that, and there's a person who's being talked about in 15th century Constantinople. And in 2020 Idaho, there's a play being made upon this particular character, whoever is, being talked about in the 15th century as well. And in the future, a character called Constance, she is this very curious person, and now she's trying to find out everything about these particular scriptures. It's still slowly moving forward. I'm not that far along in the story that I can actually say what is it, because as I remember about Anthony Doerr's writing, it's that it is fragmented. You have to have a lot of patience with it, because it keeps cutting away from one perspective to the next, and you have to wait till that perspective comes along again to connect the dots. But surprisingly, this one doesn't feel as disconnected as before. I'm just waiting for that other shoe to drop, and I'm waiting for that connection to be made, but I'm not impatient while doing it. Maybe it's because I'm listening to the audiobook that I'm rather not that impatient. But yeah, that's my update right now. I'm going to go change out of this, because my main work for having worn this was for the thumbnail, because it matches the cover a little. Anyway, so I'm going to go change out into more comfortable clothing and then go make coffee, because it's like what, 4:30? Yeah, it's 4:30, and in another half an hour I'm going to go get coffee, because otherwise my brain's going to explode, because I haven't been having enough sleep. Anyway, too much information. Bye, see you on the other side. Yeah, so I have been listening to a bit of the Cloud Cuckoo Land. Obviously, this is what the whole vlog is for. Now I have like 1 hour of uninterrupted time, but I have to finish this before midnight, because I have set a goal for myself and I need to make sure that I will be able to achieve that goal. Does that make any sense? I don't know if it does, but there hasn't been a lot that's been going on in the story since the last time I updated you guys, but I think it's going to take like an hour or so more before something really huge happens in the story, and I'm waiting for that, although like I said before, not impatiently, and I am really looking forward to seeing where this goes. And yeah, and I'm really looking forward to getting one thing off my ticked off on my listening goal, because as you know, I have set myself a listening goal of listening to 15 stories in 30 days, and 4 days have passed and I haven't been able to finish even one story. But I'm hoping against hope that tonight will be the night in which I finish reading reading one story. And then I also intend to listen to As You Like It by William Shakespeare. What? And then I also intended to listen to As You Like It by William Shakespeare, the comedy in the form of sonnets. It's on my October TBR as well as part of my Scaredy Cat Readathon TBR, and that's something that I really wanted to listen to. But once I finish Cloud Cuckoo Land, I'm going to go on to that, and I'm really excited, and that'll probably be my second story. And then I'm going to go look for some more short stories like the ones that I listened to in September, and that's going to be exciting. I know it's not just for the listening goal per se, but I really want to consume more stories as audiobooks so that I'm consuming more stories as well as I am doing a lot of other things also in parallel. And I know that since my bookshelf needs a reorganization of sorts, when that's happening, I'm going to be listening to an audiobook or 2 or 4 because this is going to take some time. But yeah, that's the update for now. I'm just going to sit back and read. Although I have been speaking for like 6 minutes, so maybe I do have only 45 minutes as a whole when you round up for this session. So once that's done, I will come back and tell you what I think of the story that's going on further. Hi, it's about 9:30, just close to 9:30, and I am 2 hours 40 minutes away from finishing this book. And I know I have just 2.5 hours and I don't know how I'm going to do it, but it's going to be a task, that's for sure. But I do have some thoughts. First up is that when the author is talking about a girl in the 15th century, like a 12-year-old girl in the 15th century who's doing everything she can in order to save her loved ones, like her sister. She wants to save her sister, and everything that's happening around them, there's a lot of history as well in that. Like, I think the author has said this in a time when there's so much happening, and that particular conflict that is playing in or tying in with the life of this little girl and her sister, it's sort of very, it's nice to see, because Anna is just, she's not just a girl who is doing things for her sister. It's not just her fighting for her sister's life and doing everything she can to make her sister's life easier. But the whole point is, as little girls, we have a lot of dreams of going here, visiting these places, or doing these particular things, or again, to each their own. And to see Anna also having these big bright dreams of, you know, moving away from here, going exploring new lands, what lies beyond the wall, she wants to know all of that. And to see her interacting with her surroundings in the way that you wouldn't really expect, but because she does what she's got to do, all the while keeping her feet firmly on the ground, and her dreams are not just dreams. I somehow have the feeling that Anna, despite everything, or maybe because of everything that's happening, she will be able to make her dreams come true. So that's that. And right now she's at a point where she's made a really important discovery, and to actually listen to the shock in her voice, it was rather very convincing. It's good narration that we're after, right? And this narration does it. Like, I'm like, Anna, yes. But yeah, I won't say anything else when it comes to Anna. And then there's Omer, who is driving his bullocks into this whole war kind of situation, and there's not a lot going on his part actually, so we'll just stop it right there for the time being, except for the fact that he is attached to his bullocks. It brings these thoughts to him about what other living beings might think, what is the whole funda of life or something. And that's what I gleaned from it. And then from there we go to the boy who's helping Anna. I feel like I'm very careful when it comes to stories like this, because I'm always a little tad bit pessimistic. Like, maybe this guy is going to do something that will hurt Anna. So that's another story over there. And then there is Seymour, who we're talking about the whole, you know, library kind of situation where he wants to blow up this library, and we see his backstory for a bit. There's this whole description about what all he goes through and how his surroundings affect his mental health. How all of this ties into the whole thing when it comes together is what I'm waiting for. And then there's a story of Zeno. Like, when we are in Idaho in 2020, when there's a play taking place, the man who is conducting the play, or who's helping the play come to fruition or something, the director, if you will, his backstory is also there a bit. So, and there's a lot. I can't even begin to explain how much of, you know, sadness there is in Zeno's story, and I can totally understand the kind of man that he became after that, and to read that is also a bit of a heartbreaker. And then we move forward in time, in which Constance is not on Earth, and now their spaceship, which is called Argos, is hurtling forward in time, and I feel like it reminds me a little bit of the whole COVID pandemic, and that's what I'll just stop at that, because otherwise I feel like I might just end up spoiling the whole thing. See, it's not exactly similar, because there's a lot of mystery involved also behind it, but other than that, I feel like it's very engagingly mysterious, and I really like it. So how all of this comes together, because at one point Anna is struggling to keep her sister alive, and then she's found something, and then there's Zeno, and then there's Seymour, and then there's Constance, not Constant. How all of these threads intertwine, and how it makes sense, that's what forms this whole story. Anyway, so I'm going to go and listen to this more so that I find out what exactly is going on. Like, I'm very excited for the story to move forward, or the stories to move forward in their tracks and then come forward into one big story, if that makes any sense. So yeah, I'm going to have dinner while I listen, and yeah, that's about it for now. I think I'll check back in maybe an hour or an hour and a half, just to give you an idea about where I am and how I'm finding this at the moment. At that moment, not this moment. This moment I've already told you, huh? Okay, quick update. It's about 10:30 and I'm still 1 hour 50 minutes away from finishing the book, and I now know that midnight it's not happening. I'm not going to be able to finish this book before midnight, but that's okay. I'm not supposed to be stressing myself. The good part is that I'm really liking how the conflict is turning out in here. Like, Anna's story, she and her sister and everybody in a convent, they are sort of living their lives. They have accepted the fear of the attacks that are coming in, and then Omir's life is also something else. He's homesick and all of that, and I like how it's coming through, because even in Constance's case, like in two extreme time periods of whatever is going on, even in Constance's case, there's something that's happened that's sort of making me think that the worst is coming, and I want to see where Constance is going with this. Like, what will she do? She's, I think, 12 years old now, and it's a lot to process even for an adult. That situation would be a lot to process, but to see her being in a situation like that, it's a little bit of why does she have to go through this and all that. And then there's Zeno, whose story just took an unexpected twist. Well, maybe I shouldn't have assumed things, because that's the worst kind of thing that you could do to anyone. But I did not see that coming, although I did have my suspicions when his backstory was revealed in present day. in Idaho 2020. I like how he's trying to keep the kids out of the loop of whatever is happening in the library. And in that same library, Seymour is there, and there's this unexpected twist with him also. Like, he cares about the environment, and now I'm just waiting to see how this all comes about. Like, in my last update, I had said that I'm waiting to see how it's going to work out, and this is sort of the next step towards that final destination of getting to round off everything. So I'm just going to take a break now, maybe about 45 minutes, because the IPL is on, and I'm going to edit this video while I'm watching the IPL as much as possible, and then maybe we can move forward with whatever is coming. So I finished listening to Cloud Cuckoo Land this afternoon, and I will talk about my thoughts about the audiobook in a minute, but I just wanted to check in on my listening goal, which I had set as having to read 15 books, or read or listen to 15 stories in 30 days, and I am going to go check up on it now that my listening to this audiobook is done. We'll just go check up and see how it gets updated also, and we can leave a rating for this book in the meanwhile as well. So now we're done. We are going to rate the book in emoji terms, which I'm going to say is rather thought-provoking. It is a very thought-provoking book. So next, I did enjoy the book. The review is, I'm going to give it 4.25 stars. Submit. What we will do is, we'll exit, go to bookshelf, check it's read, go to profile, listening goal, and here we have it. We have one story completed. I've completed 6% of my reading goal, and I feel like I've accomplished something. So that's something, I guess. Hello peeps, I did not finish listening to the audiobook last night. I had about 40 minutes left before I was so wiped out that I had to go and sleep, but I finished it today, and I must say that I like this book better than All the Light We Cannot See, because there's so much that this book talks about in the sense of the world as a whole, and there are so many metaphors that you can pick and dissect throughout the length of this book. It talks about what humans are doing wrong and what can be done to make it right, and what would be the right way to do these things, and what would not be the right way to do these things, and what we can accept about ourselves, and what we can take small steps for and do the right thing instead of taking large steps that obliterate everyone and not do the right thing in that sense. And I really liked this book. Like, I must say that my gut instinct about this book, that I would end up liking it more than I liked All the Light We Cannot See, was right, because All the Light We Cannot See is a very poignant story, but it felt really fragmented and disconnected to me, and that fragmentation did not seem justified. But for this one, given that it is set in 3 different time periods, the fragmentation needed to be there, and it made the story as a whole into something that was rounded off really well, and it sends a very strong message about certain things, and I love that. Like, it talks about how humans are not doing the right thing, but it also talks about how we should learn to be kind to ourselves, and that dichotomy of having 2 separate things peacefully coexist with each other, 2 separate principles peacefully coexist with each other, is a sort of a radical one, because in this time and age we are quick to hurl abuses at everyone, especially on the internet. But you read this book and you will find that underlying thread that sort of wraps itself around you and tells you that It's okay. Everything is going to be okay eventually. And all that I need to do in the time being is be kind to myself, understand myself better, have some empathy for the people around me, have some empathy for the world in general, because it's going down, the world. We are not doing anything to... Okay, let's not go there. But I must say that there were a few chinks in the armor. The biggest one being the how the story that was set in Constantinople in the 15th century, how that was tied up. It felt sort of rushed to me, although I can see the continuity. I can see how it comes together, but then again it seems like a very small thing to harp upon when so much else is going on in the story. The whole myth written by Diogenes, the whole myth of Athon, and how it ties into the lives of this, and the metaphor that it sets across these centuries and across the lives of all these peoples, how it talks about freedom and decisions and all of that. It sort of brings together this book in a very beautiful manner. I never thought I'd be saying this, but I did really enjoy listening to this audiobook, and I would highly recommend, definitely highly recommend. Plus, if you want to read this book, I would recommend that you listen to the audiobook, which is available on Storytel India, and it's great. The narrator is Marin Ireland along with Simon Jones, but Marin Ireland narrates a majority of the book, and she has done a great job. And that is why I would recommend that you listen to this book rather than read it, because it makes for a really great experience. The narrator's voice transports you from one world to another in a lot of ways. So yeah, go ahead, listen to the book on Storytel. Get your subscription now. The subscription is only 299 rupees per month, and if you'd like to go ahead and subscribe to Storytel, the link to that will be in the description box below. Don't forget to check it out. So that was my reading vlog for Anthony Doerr's new book, Cloud Cuckoo Land, and I'm so glad that I listened to it, because it makes for such a better experience in the whole sense of not just audiobook, but also the ambience that the author has set across the book. Like, there are 3 time periods in the book which you can follow and mold them together to form a hugely beautiful story of courage and freedom and love in a whole sense. So what did you think of this video? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Are you going to pick up Cloud Cuckoo Land after watching my video, or even otherwise were you going to pick it up? What are your thoughts on Anthony Doerr's writing, and are you going to get a Storytel subscription after watching this video? I know I repeated the question, but tell me please. Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. If you like this video, please like it and share it to spread the word. And if you like my content and would like to see more from me, don't forget to hit subscribe and click on the bell icon beside the subscribe button to get notified as and when I post new videos. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Until next time, keep reading, keep watching, and add melodrama to your life.